This is exactly how I used to record 10, 20, sometimes 30 customer testimonials in just a couple days. So conferences are obviously important for sales, marketing, customer success people, but they're also a huge opportunity for client testimonials. Now, this video testimonial strategy is really applicable for those conferences where you've rented a booth space, where you're going to be demoing your product and having some informal client meetings. In this video, first, I'm going to talk about the strategy to use to get these testimonials. Second, I'm going to talk about what you need to bring from an equipment perspective and how you should pack it up for travel. Third, I'm going to talk about how to set up at the conference. And fourth, we'll talk about how to actually conduct these interviews with clients. When it comes to strategy and how you should be thinking about and approaching getting these testimonials at conferences, there's really just two things I think you should keep in mind. First is you've got to respect the fact that you're a guest in whatever space you're in, both from the perspective of the actual conference and from the perspective of within your own booth. There are salespeople trying to close deals, there are customer success people, so just be mindful of that and be respectful of that. On the other hand, nobody is going to give you a testimonial if you don't actively ask for it, obviously. So you do need to put yourself out there. If you're not actively recording, stand in front of the booth and welcome people in. Find out what they need, you can point them in the right direction. And if you find someone who is a happy client, just directly ask them, hey, we're looking to record a couple testimonials. If you have 5 minutes, would love to just ask you on camera, how do you use our product and why is it helpful to you? Some people will definitely tell you no, but a lot of people will say yes, especially if you make it really easy for them to just step over to the side, answer a couple questions, and then be on their way. And a big part of the way that you do that is in the setup. Here's what you'll need to bring to build that setup. Since a lot of these conferences, not all of them, but a lot of them require air travel, I'll talk about what you need to bring first, fragile stuff that you should put in a carry-on bag. And then second, we'll talk about the category of more durable stuff that you can throw in a checked bag. So for the fragile stuff, first you need a camera, obviously. This can be a DSLR camera or a mirrorless camera. When it comes to lenses, just make sure you have some flexibility in the 24-ish to 70-ish millimeter range. You don't need anything super long in telephoto, so really any adjustable lens with those kind of mid-focal length options will work great. The next piece of fragile equipment that you'll want to put in your carry-on is a shotgun microphone. Conference halls can be very loud places, and we also don't want to have to wire up every single person that we interview. It's annoying and it's going to take way too much time. Next, we need an audio recorder to plug that microphone into, and I personally use a Zoom H4n Pro. Works great for me. I've heard Tascam works as well. I think either of these brands you can't really miss. You'll also want to bring headphones that you can plug into the audio recorder so you can monitor the audio as you're recording. Next, you're going to want to pack a small light to attach to the top of your camera. Having your subject well lit makes a massive difference, and it's one of the least expensive pieces of the equipment stack, so definitely get a small light. Finally, make sure all your extra batteries are packed in your carry-on. Your extra camera batteries, light batteries, audio recorder batteries, any other batteries you have. This has nothing to do with video production. You just should never check lithium-ion batteries, ever under any circumstances, because it's illegal and dangerous. Moving on to stuff that you will check. First, you're going to need a tripod for your camera. Make sure that it's at least 72 inches tall, ideally if it can be 77 inches tall, 82. Reason being, you always want to be eye level with the person you're interviewing. So if someone's over 6 feet, as tall as 6'5", then if you have a 77-inch tripod, you're fully covered. You should also get a small bendable tripod to attach your audio recorder to. Typically, I kind of wrap it around the camera tripod so that I have them both on one unit. Then you'll need a microphone stand with a swing arm. The stand doesn't need to be that tall because you're not going to be hanging it over the person you're interviewing. You're going to be putting it underneath and pointing the microphone up towards them. You're also going to need an XLR cable to attach your shotgun mic to your audio recorder, and that can go in your checked bag. I would also recommend bringing a couple extension cords and power adapters, because you always want to make sure that extra batteries are charged, and this just makes it a lot easier to do that. Finally, you're going to want to bring a clapper, first to make your video editor's life easier, or your life easier if that turns out to be you, and also because it can be a nice icebreaker for people, honestly. They seem to love it. It's a hit with the people, so bring a clapper. It'll be worth it. Now let's talk about how you're going to set up. So positionally, you're going to want to be recording in the direction of your own booth. So start by putting your camera on the tripod and set it up in either the front left or the front right corner of the booth. At this point, you can turn it on and start to get a sense of what the view is going to look like. Try to get your logo and some of your branding in the background, and then go stand in and test out the shot and see how it looks. Next, you're going to screw the light onto the top of your camera, so that's all set up. And now we're going to set up our mic. So put your mic stand out, get the swing arm horizontal, and attach your shotgun mic to it. This stand is going to sit in front of the camera, and the aim is to point the mic essentially right at the person's chin. Then get your XLR cable and attach your microphone to your audio recorder. Next, you're going to screw your audio recorder into your small bendable tripod and attach that bendable tripod to your camera tripod. And there you go. This is your setup. So you're at the conference and you've got a client to agree to give you a testimonial. Before you start actually rolling the film and while you're adjusting the height of the camera and the mic stand, there's two things you're going to want to tell them. First, you want to tell them that the viewer is not going to hear the question that you, the interviewer, is asking. So if I ask you, what is your name? You'll start with my name is, rather than just saying Matt. Second, you want to tell them to pause for 3 seconds when they're done with their answer and continue to make eye contact with you. It's a little bit awkward, but just tell them that for editing purposes, it makes for a much smoother transition and they will thank you later. Now, in terms of what questions to ask, first and foremost, it's always good to have a clip of them stating their name, the organization they work for, and their title. Then I would ask them, what do you use our product to accomplish and how has it helped you? Depending on how they answer, you can probe and ask follow-up questions like, oh, what was your process like before you used us? Or how many people on your team are currently using us? Beyond these more broad, how have we helped you type questions, you should consider your organizational goals. Do you have a new product that you have a couple new users that have used it that you would like to get their feedback on? Do you have a new industry that you're trying to break into that you need a couple early users to vouch for you in? In these cases, you can start asking more specific product questions or more specific industry questions, persona if that's more appropriate. But always remember you're telling a story about what life was like before using your product or service and what life has been like since using your product or service. Thanks so much for watching. This is B2B Video School. My name's Matt Burke. Subscribe and ring the bell so that you can get notified when we drop new videos, and I will see you next time.